Dude, look at my omelette. It took me so many raids just to get in. I mean, just look at him. He's so cool.
Not as cool as mine. It's a tiny cloud with tentacles. And I had to go into the wilderness to get mine. I had to risk my life just to get him.
Well, sorry, but I got mine because I'm the Master Slayer. I mean, to get this Kraken, it took me 2,348 kills just to get him.
Mine only took me 9 kills just to get the Kraken.
Are you fucking kidding me?
At least we can all agree it's way better than getting one of those other pets that literally take no skill to get.
Hey guys, cool pets you got there. I got myself a pet as well. I just got it at the Falador agility course. Look at him. I only got him at level 42 agility as well.
Who even asked you? You have a skilling pet. Seriously, who even cares if you have an agility pet? It's not even that special to get. I mean, come on. Why would you even show this to us? Try to get a damn boss pet instead, you bloody nerd. Do you even have a 99 in the combat stat? How about you try and get your stats up to be just a little bit better so you can at least attempt at getting a boss pet, or even just go to the giant mall since you like having your luck at Falador so much.
Fucking screw you guys. All your pets suck.
Hello guys, my name is GameBoiler4 and welcome to my top 5 boss list. This list includes, in my opinion, what are my 5 favorite bosses in the game. This list is created by 3 different categories, which are the mechanics of the boss, how difficult it is to kill it, and also if it's best to do in a solo or in a team. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and also let me know what is your favorite boss in the comments below. So, let's begin. The Kuffar Queen was released into RuneScape on the 7th of September 2004 at a combat level of 333. This boss drops the iconic dragon chain body, and then 2 years later the dragon two-handed sword. Some of the unique mechanics of this boss firstly is how it's one of the first bosses to have multiple forms. The first form where it can pray both magic and range at the same time, and the second form where it will protect itself from melee. Also with this in mind, it was the first ever boss to even use the overhead protection prayers. Also with the magic and range attacks, it will never hit a 0 and has an accuracy of 100%. The Kuffar Queen uses all 3 combat styles as well, and she's not the only NPC you have to worry about during the fight. The Kalphite workers and the guardians can also attack you, where the guardians have a chance to poison you. The difficulty of this boss from easy to master tier, I will give it a hard tier rating. I honestly wanted to give it a elite tier rating due to consistent damage of magic and range never missing, but due to being able to flinch the boss where you can take no damage at all, puts it in the hard tier. The boss itself can hit a maximum of 31 on all 3 combat styles, so it's always a guessing game of where you want to pray magic or range the most. Also due to the amount of all the Kalphite workers that spawn in the lair, can make it easier to flinch it without having to run around a lot. So is the boss best to do in a team or solo? It will be best to do the boss as a solo, as when bringing more people with you, it's not only one player that takes the damage, it hits all players with the magic and range attacks it uses. Also depends with others if they have the Desert Elite Diary completed, as if you don't, you won't be able to use the shortcut to get to the boss, which does have a requirement of 86 agility as well. Also without this diary completed, you also need to bring 2 ropes with you. The Corporeal Beast, no, not the Corporal Beast, he isn't part of the army, was released into Old School on the 16th of October 2014 at a combat level of 785. This boss drops the spirit sigils of the Arcane, Spectral, and the Elysian. How this boss fights you is with 2 main combat styles of melee and magic. The mechanics of this boss is unique as it reduces your damage by 50% that is not a spear or a halberd, so it does suck if you want to kill this boss on an account you don't want to level your defense in, unless you're using range with ruby bolts. The Corporeal Beast has a unique magic attack as well, where it will split itself to hit multiple targets or multiple damage to one player. There is also a 1 in 8 chance of this boss spawning a dark energy core which looks like the alien from the movie Alien. This evil little creature would drain anyone's hit points if you're standing 1 tile near it. Also, the Corporeal Beast has another mechanic that other bosses don't have. It will do a stomp attack if you try to stand under it, so try and not to flinch the boss. The difficulty of this boss from easy to master tier, I will give it an elite tier rating. Reason for this rating is how you're able to kill the boss and also the amount of time it takes to kill it, depending on the method of your choosing. What makes the boss hard to kill is due to the amount of damage it can do to you with a melee hit of 33, magic of 65, and a stomping attack of 51. Also trying to dodge the dark energy core, as you will need to keep moving to prevent it to healing corp. It was not placed into the master tier, as with the core, you can stop it from healing by using poison weapons to stop the healing by either using enchanted emerald bolts or using a serpentine helmet with a blowpipe for a 100% chance of getting it poisoned. Do note if you're trying this method, you need to stand with the core at all times, otherwise it will start teleporting again. Also, what doesn't place it into the master tier is due to a method found roughly in 2018, where you're able to use 3 Dragon Warhammer special attacks, 20 Arc-like special attacks, and 200 damage from a Bando's Godsword special attack. You will take little to no damage while fighting this boss. So is the boss best to do in a team or solo? It will be best to do the boss in a team, as you can get more kills on the boss. Of course, you can do it as a solo too, but cause you to use up more time to kill the boss once. Also, it is fun watching your mates go down to the boss because they weren't looking at the core, or losing their prayer to save a prayer dose, or even getting 3 hit by the boss when trying to go into spec it. The Abyssal Sire was released on the 1st of October 2015 at a combat level of 350. The unique item the Sire drops is the Unsire, which can be thrown into the font of consumption. When thrown into the font, what it can do is create 8 different items: 3 bludgeon pieces, the Abyssal Dagger, the Abyssal Whip, Abyssal Head, Jar of Miasma, and the pet, the Abyssal Orphan. How this boss works, it has 4 phases. The first phase, you need to use shadow spells on the site itself to keep it from waking up, while taking out the 4 respiratory systems on the west and east side of the area. On the second phase, you'll be attacking the boss until it reaches half its health. During this phase, the Sire has a chance of spawning poison pools and also producing spawns while it attacks you with melee. Once on the third phase, it will plant itself into the ground and it will charge itself for the final phase. During this phase, the boss will continuously make poison pools where you will stand and also produce more spawns. And finally, the final phase of the boss will teleport you south of it. Make sure to keep your distance, as the boss will explode and hit you for big damage if you're not ready, and it will continue to produce more spawns and create more pools of poison. The difficulty of this boss from easy to master tier, I will give it a hard tier rating, due to the amount of different phases it has and also always having to pay attention to the boss, otherwise you will get wrecked. The boss can hit as high as a 66 with its melee attack if you're not protecting melee, and with the explosion in phase 4 it can hit as high as 96. Also, during the second phase, you're not able to use magic or range from afar, otherwise it will teleport you next to it. I would have placed this boss as an elite tier, but the reason why is just because that you're able to teleport to your house to restore your special attack and your HP during any of the phases. So is the boss best to do in a team or solo? Unfortunately, you can't kill the boss in a team. Also, you need to be killing it while on the Slayer task. But you can use your friends to give you special attack with the Lunar Spellbook to do some big damage with the Dragon Claws. The Dagon of Kings was released on the 7th of November 2005 at a combat level of 303 each. These kings also drop the best combat rings in the game. Rex drops the Warrior and Berserker rings, Supreme drops the Archer's ring, and Prime drops the Seer's ring. What's unique about the kings is that they're not one boss that uses all 3 attack styles. There's simply 3 bosses that use their own attack style, and the best way to kill them is to use the combat triangle. Magic beats melee, melee beats range, and range beats magic. Within the Dagon of Kings are the Spinolops, which attack you as well inside the cave, where they have a chance to poison and drain your prayer. These bosses do not have a lot of mechanics, but they're unique with their own combat attack styles instead of using multiple. The difficulty with these bosses from easy to master tier, I will give it a medium tier rating. This is due to the first interaction you have with these bosses, because once you enter, you can use up all your food and be left with nothing to start your rotation, and can easily get wrecked with their attacks. Prime hits the highest with 65 magic damage, second to that is Supreme with 30 range damage, and the lowest is Rex with 26 melee damage. Also, the Spinolops damage using either range or magic, which can chip away at your HP and in the process poison you too. So is the boss best to do in a team or solo? It is fun completing this in a team and see who can take all the kills, which can also mean longer trips. But also, it is easy to do it yourself once you get the hang of it. When I do my trips, I don't need to bring an inventory of food and prayer potions. If you like, I could show you how I do it as a guide if we get to 50 likes on this video. The Cerberus boss was released on the 27th of August 2015 at the combat level of 318. Cerberus has the unique drops of 4 different crystals: Primordial, Pegasian, Eternal, and the Smoldering Stone. This boss uses all 3 attack styles, which at some point during the fight she can hit you with magic, range, and then melee all in a row. During the fight, Cerberus can howl, which can spawn 3 different souls using the range, magic, and melee attack styles in any order from west to east side. These souls can also drain your prayer by 30 points or by 15 points with the Spectral Spirit Shield. Also, she is able to spawn balls of fire which can be placed under you and 2 other randomly on the ground. If you stand on it, you will take some damage as well as standing next to it. The difficulty of this boss from easy to master tier, I will give it an elite tier rating. It could be deemed as a hard boss to some, but I see it as elite due to the mechanics of the boss where you either be out of food or out of prayer potions depending on what you've brought with you. If you're not concentrating on the fight with her, she can produce some big damage with the pools of fire, where the first shot can hit you for 10s, then later for 15 if you're still standing on it, and 1 tile away for 7 damage. Also, the souls themselves can hit hard if you're not praying correctly for 30 damage. Get them all wrong, and you're taking 90 damage in total. So is the boss best to do in a team or solo? Just like the Sire, it's a solo boss that can only be killed on a Slayer task, but again, with friends, they can help you speed up the kills. And just as a side note for the boss, I really like it because it's a dog, and dogs are awesome, and I really want to get myself the Hell Puppy. Also because I get a lot of Primordial Crystals as well. And there you have it, my top 5 favourite bosses in the game. What make the bosses unique are the mechanics and how you are able to beat them in a team effort or as a solo effort. Of course, there are many other bosses in the game, but I like these guys the most. Also, make sure to comment on what your favourite boss is and why. I'd love to see what you guys have to say. So thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all for the next one.